This is exercise 6.5. Just redoing this question because I just missed out a little bit of it yesterday. So in exercise 6.5, question 7, you have to solve equations simultaneously. You'll notice that one of them is a quadratic equation because it's got an x squared, and the other one is a linear equation because it's just y with an x. Now these are fairly easy these are always done by substitution. So whenever you're solving quadratic equations with a normal linear equation simultaneously, it's always by substitution. We've got y equals 3x squared and y equals 10 minus x. That means if y equals that and y equals that, then 3x squared equals 10 minus x, because they're both equal to y. So we just write sub 2 into 1 or sub equation 1 into 2. It doesn't matter which way you write it. And so we'll get 3x squared equals 10 minus x. The next thing we need to do is take everything to the left-hand side. So we've got 3x squared. What's written next?
Minus 10.
Yeah, and then plus x. I'm going to put the plus x first, and then the minus 10. And then we need to factorize. This should be like this, where we've got 3x and x. I need the factors of 10. I'm going to put 2 here because that will give me 6x and that will give me 5x. We need an overall balance of plus 1x. So if we have plus 6x and minus 5x, then that should work. So we've got 3x minus 5, x plus 2. Let's just check that this works. 3x squared plus 6x minus 5x, yes, that gives me plus 1x, minus 10 equals 0. So solving these, we've got 3x minus 5 equals 0, or x plus 2 equals 0, which means that x is 5 on 3, or x is negative 2. Now, I think that's where I stopped yesterday. When you solve simultaneously, girls, we've got to solve for x and for y. Okay, that's why we've got 2 equations with y and x. You have to solve both x and y. Yesterday I stopped there. So now there will be a separate solution. When x is 5 on 3, we'll get something for y. And when x is negative 2, we need to work out what y is as well. So we go when x equals 5 on 3, y equals, I don't mind which one you substitute it into. All right, you can go sub into 2. All right, sub into 2. So we get y is 10 minus 5 on 3. You can do that on your calculator. That's 10 minus 1 and 2/3. What is it? 10 minus 1 and 2/3. Think of 8 and 1/3. 8 and 1/3. Think you've got 10 pizzas and you've eaten one of them and another 2/3, you'll have 8 and 1/3 pizzas left. And we'll sub this into 2 as well. And you get y is 10 minus what? Negative 2. So you get y is 12. So girls, your solutions are x is 5 on 3, y is 8 and 1/3. That's one solution. And you need to group them together. And the other solution is x is negative 2, y is positive 12. Now, girls, you must put, when x, like the 5 on 3 solution with the y equals 8 and 1/3. Okay? And you must put x is negative 2, y equals 12 together. So, girls, don't forget when you're solving equations simultaneously, I need answers for both the x and the y values. So, we put them back into 2. If we put them into equation 1, they should work as well. Okay? And 7b, so our 2 equations are y equals x squared, equation 1, and y equals negative 3x, equation 2. So we're going to solve simultaneously, y equals that and y equals that, therefore we can just say sub 2 into 1, and we get x squared equals minus 3x. What do we do now?
We move
Everything to the left. Now, girls, you can factorize that. Girls, not everything's a trinomial. What's the common factor?
Bracket x plus 3.
X bracket x plus 3. Girls, before you look for trinomials, in other words, those ax squared plus bx plus c type, you should always be looking for a common factor first. That's always your first step in a factorization. Is there a common factor? You look for that first. Okay, that's not a trinomial. When you've got two terms, you've either just got a normal factorization or you've got a difference of two squares, nothing else. That's obviously not a difference of two squares, so it'll be a normal factorization. So now, x is 0 or x plus 3 is 0. No, you would not. Why? This is easier. You wouldn't complete the square with this because it's much easier just to do this.
Okay.
Girls, you only complete the square if you're asked. You would only complete the square with this if you had maybe a number over there or, I don't know, just, girls, you only complete the square if asked, okay? So, sub into, I put it into equation 1, I suppose. Sub into 1. Either 1 or 2, it doesn't matter.
Why are we subbing? Oh wait, we're trying to find y.
Girls, we're now looking for the y value. You can sub in 1 or 2, it doesn't matter. So you get y equals 0 squared, which is 0. And this one, y equals negative 3 in brackets squared. What's negative 3 times negative 3? Plus 9. So your solutions are x is 0, y is 0 is one solution. And the other one is x is negative 3, y is 9. That's the other solution. Now, looking at the next exercise, exercise 6.6, practical problems involving quadratic equations. Okay, girls, I'm going to choose some of these questions to do now. Exercise 6.6, practical problems involving quadratic equations. We've got the product of two consecutive odd numbers is 63. Find the numbers. Girls, you might let your first number equal what? N or x? So what would your second number be?
X plus 2.
2. Because the odd number will be 2 more than that previous number. If we're just talking about consecutive numbers, you would have x and x plus 1. But we're talking about consecutive odd numbers, so it's x and x plus 2, okay? So therefore, girls, we know that the product of these two numbers is 63. So how do we set up our equations? X times x plus 2 is 63. So now expand. X squared plus 2x is 63. X squared plus 2x minus 63 equals 0. Factors of negative 63 that add up to 2.
7 and 9.
Which one's more pluses?
Negative 7 plus 9.
Yeah, plus 9 minus 7. Because you've got x squared minus 7x plus 9x minus 63. So therefore, x plus 9 is 0, or x minus 7 is 0. So what do you get? X is... Oh, actually, girls. Now, just wait. Remember, these are... We've got two possibilities. So, we all picked up the 7 and the 9, but we didn't pick up... All right, let's just finish. So when x is negative 9, what's the other number? So, girls, we could have done, let first number, I could have gone y equals x, but it doesn't matter. So when x is negative 9, what's the second number? Negative 9 plus 2 is negative 7. Girls, there are two answers here, not just 7 and 9. The other answers are negative 9 and negative 7.
And positive 7 and positive 9.
That's right, because a negative times a negative is a positive.
Yeah,
So
that's
girls,
right.
if you ever get these equations, don't be tempted to solve just by guessing, because by solving this simultaneously, we can see we've got the x equals negative 9 solution. So your second number will be negative 9 plus 2, which is negative 7. We know that negative 9 times negative 7 is positive 63. So, and here our second number, which is x plus 2, will be 7 plus 2 is 9. So therefore my other solution is 7 and 9. Okay? So if you would have just done that by guessing, you would have missed a whole solution. I'm going to do question 1. The only thing with these, I didn't let one be y equals and the other one like that. I just did them in terms. Question 1e, just down here where I'm highlighting. Find two positive numbers whose product is 88 if the larger number is 3 more than the smaller number. What are you going to let your numbers be? X and x plus 3. And you'll go x times x plus 3 is 88 and solve, bring everything over. I'm not going to do that one because I think you can do that yourself.
I just read the question.
No, highlighted question 3 up there. When a number is doubled and then subtracted from its square, the result is 15. Find the two possible numbers. So please write that down, question 3. When a number is doubled and then subtracted from its square, the result is 15. Find the two possible numbers. All right, what's your first number going to be? All right. All right, so the number equals x. Okay. All right, let's set up an equation. When that number is doubled, so what do we get?
2x.
And subtracted from its square. What's its square?
X squared.
All right, so do I do?
X squared minus 2x.
That's right. You've got to take the 2x from the x squared, not the other way around. The number is doubled and then it's taken away from its square. So you need to do the square, x squared minus 2x equals 15. Do you know what to do now, girls?
Yeah, just solve it.
All right, so x squared minus 2x plus 15 is 0. You know the factors of... No. Just, girls, I'd factorise these. These will be easy factorizations, girls. It is. Thank you very much, girls. Minus. Very good. Okay, so I need factors of 15 that add up.
3, 5.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a 3 and a 5. And then you... No, they're not.
-5 plus
I want more minuses than pluses. So it's x plus 3, x minus 5 equals 0. Because let's check. We get x squared minus 5x plus 3x. Or you go like this with your crisscross. Minus 5 plus 3. Minus 5x plus 3x. Shh. So what do I get? X equals? X plus 3 is 0. Or x minus 5 is 0. Therefore, x is negative 3. Or x is 5. Girls, they're your two numbers.
Are we finished?
Yes. Let's just see, ladies. Check it. Girls, I'm just checking my answer and see if this works. I square this first one, so negative 3 squared
No.
minus what? What do I do? When a
9 minus 6 is 3.
minus 2 times negative 3. Girls, when a number is doubled, 2 times that number, and subtracted from its square, I'm checking my answer. I'm putting this up into there. So I got x is negative 3, x is 5. I'm just putting x is negative 3 in here and seeing what I get, seeing that I get 15. So I get 9 minus negative 6, which is 9 plus 6 is 15. That looks good. And then let's check 5 in this equation. 5 squared minus 2 times 5. Is 25 minus 10, which is 15. Girls, I'm just checking my answer. Normally, if you do something like this, you want to see if your answer is correct or not. All right, we need to do more questions. Differ by 3. So everyone agrees, let the numbers be x, the first number, and there's differences of opinion for the second one, but either one would be fine. The second one could be x plus 3 or x minus 3. How many people put minus? All right, we'll go x plus 3. So your two numbers are x and x plus 3. So two numbers differ by 3. That's my two numbers. Shh. And the sum, the square of their sum is 169. What do? No, square root means square root. Square means squared. That's right. So I go x and x plus 3, and then I square it. Ladies, girls, stop. Can you please, that equals 169? No. Come on, go back to basic algebra. What's x plus x? 2x plus 3 squared is 169. The square of their sum. So let's get their sum first. Okay, girls? You don't do x plus bracket x plus 3 and try and square that monster. So this. So girls, what's the rule? Square the first one. What's 2x squared? 4x squared plus 2 times that plus 3 squared, 9 is 169.
Oh, is that a perfect square?
Yes, it is a perfect square. Someone's just said, why didn't we just do from here plus or minus square root the other side, and it would have been better and quicker. But I've started on this now, so I'll just show you both. So I'm going to do that other way in a minute. So so girls, if you ever get this, the idea is actually I'll come over here and do it now. See how we've got 2x plus 3 squared is 169? You go 2x plus 3 equals plus or minus square root of 169. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Which is 2x plus 3 is plus or minus 13. Now what do? Take the plus 3 over and put it in the front. 2x is minus 3 plus or minus 13. There is a bit of work here, girls, the other way. And then we get 2x, x is minus 3 plus or minus 13 over 2.
That's it.
We're not finished. You girls, it actually might be easier to go the other way. So now it's negative. Now what do?
Plus 13.
Negative 3 plus 13 over 2, or negative 3 minus 13 over 2.
Which equals 8. Is it 8? No.
8 and 5.
No.
10, yeah. 10 over 2, which is 5, and negative 16 over 2, which is minus 8. So girls, that's one way of doing it if you do plus or minus square root of the other side. So from this, girls, from that,
Is that way better than the other way?
it's personal preference. So from this, you could have done plus or minus square root of the other side and done it like this. But look, a lot of people don't stop to think to do that. Like I didn't stop to think to do that because I'm just so used to doing it the other way. Girls, I'm going to go back over the other side and you'll see this all in a minute. And this way you get 4x squared, excuse me ladies, what? Plus 12x plus 9 equals 169. What do I do with the... So minus 160 equals 0. Excuse me ladies, when you try and factorize this, if 4 is a common factor in all those numbers, and it is, I would be dividing through both sides by 4 because it makes your factorization easier. 4 goes into 4, 4 goes into 12, and 4 goes into negative 160. So you can divide through by 4, and what do you get? X squared plus 3x minus 40 equals 0. So because it's 9 minus 169. So now you do, girls, this is probably quicker than that other method.
Alright.
Okay, then we get x plus 8, x minus 5 is 0. So girls, actually, I'm not, I didn't finish that other question there. So therefore, x is, girls, do you understand what I've done here?
Miss, but you didn't put the 4 in front of the bracket. Like you just.
I've divided through both sides by 4. You are allowed to do that. Girls, if you've got an equation, you're allowed to do the same thing to both sides. And because I know, girls, it's much easier to factorize a monic quadratic. So it's easier to divide. They're all divisible by 4. So I'm dividing both sides of the equation by 4. 0 divided by 4 is 0. So dividing them all by 4. So girls, I get x is negative 8 or x is positive 5. Girls, I'm not finished. I didn't finish that question over there. I need the other number. So my numbers are x, if I look back up the page, and x plus 3. So the numbers are x, which is negative 8, and x plus 3, which is what? We let negative 8 plus 3, we defined in the beginning, so negative 5. And here, my numbers are x is 5, and x plus 3 is 5 plus 3. Girls, I forgot to fix it up in the other one as well. So girls, there's more than just the 5 and negative 8 that I wrote down there in that left-hand corner. Girls, your two numbers are x and x plus 3. So your answers are negative 8 and negative 5, or 5 and negative 8. These are my answers. That and that. Sorry, 5 and 8. Sorry, 5 and 8. Shh. Girls, we got x is negative 5 or x is 8. Sorry, x is negative 8 or x is 5. You need to go back up to the question. Your numbers are x and x plus 3. So if your first number is negative 8, the next one would be negative 8 plus 3, which is negative 5. If your number is 5, your other number would be 8. So you need two answers.
Miss, but it says 2 positive.
All right, did it say 2 positive? So therefore, this is not a solution. Thank you. So therefore, that's your solution. Thank you, girls. Girls? That's not a solution, so please read the question carefully, because the numbers are positive. Okay? Thanks, girls. I give you this question without a diagram, and you would need to be able to answer it, need to be able to draw it yourself, but it's question 7 in exercise 6.6. We're told that it's a right angle triangle, so you can draw your right angle triangle, put your right angle there. The hypotenuse is 10 centimeters. Remember, that's opposite the right angle. Of the two shorter sides, which is that side there and this one, they're the two shorter sides of the right angle triangle. Because remember, c squared is a squared plus b squared, where the two shorter sides are a and b. One side is 2 centimeters longer than the other side, so you would let one be x and the other one x plus 2, or it could be x minus 2. But girls, it's much easier to work with pluses than minuses, as long as there's a difference of 2 centimeters between those two sides. So, sorry girls, so can you see why the triangle is drawn up the way it is? Now, we need to find the value of x by setting up an equation. Let's solve it by doing, as what was just said, x squared plus the other shorter side is x plus 2 squared equals 10 squared. Expand all that, take it all to the left. It's actually going to, the x squareds are going to cancel. No, it's not. So what do you got? X squared plus, expand.
X squared plus
4x plus 4 equals 100. Everything to the left and collect like terms. X squared plus x squared is 2x squared plus, now can we just do the 4 minus 100 straight away? What is it? Minus 96. Girls, you need to listen. See how there's a 2 in front of the x squared? It'd be really good to get rid of that 2. Is everything divisible by 2 here?
Yeah.
So divide through by 2. Divide both sides by 2. So if you're dividing both sides by 2, you're dividing everything, every single term by 2. What do you get? X squared plus 2x minus 48 equals 0. Now factors of 48 with a difference of 2. 6 eighths of 48. More pluses or minuses? You need more pluses. Plus 8. I need you to listen, girls. So x is what? Negative 8 or x is 6. Shh. Girls, now you need to go and look at the question. In the last question they said x has to be positive. You need to sometimes make that deduction yourself. Do you think x could be negative 8? Why not? You can't have a negative length. So if you look here, you need to now say, girls, can I move? I'll just try and move this question up. So now we say, but x has to be greater than 0 as it is a length. So therefore x is 6. So girls, if x is 6, what's the other side? So therefore, so we found x, that's part A, all done. Now, so let's just draw up our little triangle. We've got 10, 6, and the other one's x plus 2, which is 8. So now can you do the area of the triangle? Area is, so that was part A. I'm just going to put here that x plus 2 is 6 plus 2, which is 8. Area is a half of base times height. Yeah, 6 times 8 or 8 times 6, which is 24 centimetres squared. Make sure you put units, girls. Okay, now I'll set your homework. Girls, please. Your homework is going to be the following. Size 6.6, question 1B and E, 2B, 4D, 5, 6 and 8. Next lesson, I'll be continuing from question 9 onwards. We'll be getting all these done next lesson.